Hello everybody, I'm Drachona, and I just had a quick thought, I promise it's quick, on the future of movies. I'm going to actually be using Ghostbusters as an example. I'm not going to go into all the shit I've already said about Ghostbusters. I just wanted to use it as an example. And also use Sony as an example. And really, I wrote all this out. I think I'm just going to read it straight to you because I really want to get these points across. I've said them before. I've said it in comments. I've said it in a couple of my videos. But this is incredibly important, and I want people to understand that it's not just about, oh my god, ruining my childhood, or like people have these ideas that, well, it's just a comedy, or it's just a movie, it's no big deal. It is a big deal. If you care at all about movies, it is a big deal. So what I actually wrote was, if you don't want to see Ghostbusters 2, again, a sequel to the 2016 movie, then don't go see Ghostbusters 2016. It's really that simple. If you don't go see the first one, they won't be able to afford a sequel. They might try to squeeze it out, but if they make no money on the first one, they won't try to make a sequel because they'll realize it's not profitable. Now, if Sony can't afford a sequel to Ghostbusters 2016, what they're probably going to do is try to make a lazy sequel to a property that they already have, like 21 Jump Street or Smurfs. But if they do that, if you're like, man, that's just a lazy sequel, clearly they're just trying to make some money, don't go see it. Don't go see it. Eventually, they're going to realize that if they want to survive, at least in terms of film, they have to try something new. They have to do something different. The reality is, if you reward them for not trying, guess what? They're not going to try. If you give them money for being lazy, why would they do anything else? Why would they put effort? Why would they put time and a significant amount of money into something if they knew that they could turn a profit by just making shit? It's really that simple. And what I really wanted to get at is we are responsible for the shit that we see in theaters. We, the viewers, are responsible for the shit that we see in theaters. We can't sit around and moan about there being an Emoji Movie or about Ice Age 5 if we go and see it. If you want better content, then hold out for better content. It doesn't have to be the best movie ever. Just better than the standard shit that we get nowadays. And we do get good movies, but we get a lot of shit. And we've gotten shit in the past. But we're getting a lot of shit in very particular areas nowadays. So, avoid Jack and Jill and go see Hotel Transylvania. Avoid Norm of the North and go see Zootopia. You get what I'm saying here? I'm not saying you can't go see those movies if you really want to. I'm just saying don't complain about there being a shit ton of bad comedies like Jack and Jill or just a shit ton of kids movies like Norm of the North that don't try if you go and see those movies. There is a direct correlation between the movies that you pay for and the kinds of movies that continue to come out in theaters. They're connected. But yes, we all have our own opinions. That's important. A lot of people say that's like, well, what, you can't like certain movies? Yes, you have the right to like what you like. But this is something that I've tried to argue with a lot of people, and it's hilarious because it's usually people who don't care that much about movies, so it's like, why are you arguing with me? This is my thing. This is what I want to get into. There is an objective way to measure the quality of art. That doesn't mean that art is objective. It is both objective and subjective. The subjective part is what we personally think about something. You can objectively measure art. You can look at a painting and say, this painting uses blue, green, and white. That's objective. This painting uses acrylics. That's objective. The majority of this painting is blank space. That's objective. I think that this painting is just kind of lazy. That's more subjective. It can still be objectively measured, but that's more subjective than objective. Objective points are usually really straightforward and non-contestable. It's like you can't not agree with that. Whereas subjective ones are more they require a lot more interpretation, and different people can have different degrees of those same opinions, even if it's generally agreed upon. The point is, what we like and what is good are not the same things. They can be, but they're not the same thing. And ultimately, we, like I said, are responsible for what we see in theaters. If we reward laziness, we will get laziness. If we reward quality, we will get quality. How many B movies, the crappy movies that you see at the video store, how many of those do you think there would be if nobody ever rented them or bought them? They'd have to do something else. If they didn't exist at all, if nobody went and saw them, they wouldn't be there. They wouldn't bother to make those movies if nobody ever saw them. That's the whole point. People go and see them or rent them or buy them, whatever. This isn't about likes, dislikes, or ruining your childhood. It's about the future of movies. And this doesn't just apply to movies, but I'm just talking about it here in movies. We have the money. We hold the cash. And they want to get it from us. Sometimes it's more malicious than others, but the point is they want money. They want to produce something that turns a profit. So we have the money, they want that money, but we get to choose what we spend that money on. We have that power. So if we make smarter choices, we will get better results. We'll get better products, higher quality. If we're passive and make dumber choices, we'll get whatever they throw at us, whatever they bother to make for us. That doesn't mean that you have to go see a movie, like every single great movie. You don't have to go see all the great movies. Just go see movies that you can tell have a higher quality. Star Trek Beyond may not be a masterpiece of cinema, but it's probably trying a lot harder than The Night Before. That's just my personal opinion. But there are movies out there that are clearly trying harder, that have better effects, that have better acting, that have more complex stories. There's a whole bunch of factors that can play into that. Just go see movies that you actually want to see. Maybe that's the more important thing. Don't focus on quality. If there's a movie and you see the trailer for it and you're like, don't go see it. Just don't. Just don't bother to see it. Do something else. Go see a movie that you've already seen that you like. Don't bother to see a movie if you're just kind of about it. See a movie if you really want to see it. So yeah, if you're like me, you can focus on quality. You can look at a movie and be like, wow, Unfriended has a really, really good premise and just superb acting. It's a masterpiece of cinema, and it's like Hardcore Henry. This is a new way of doing horror. It's like, no, this is just kind of a one-off. It's like, okay, it's different from other ways that this genre has been done, but it's not the future of the genre. Hardcore Henry, which I haven't actually seen, it looks kind of cool. It's not the future of action, because there will always be things that can be done in action movies that you can't do with first person. With first person stuff, even something like Unfriended, which wasn't really first person, it was just through a camera. Cinematography is pretty much out the window, and cinematography, in my opinion, can make a movie, can make or break a movie. It can make a movie with kind of an okay premise and okay acting actually seem very beautiful, as long as it's visually interesting and shot well enough. So they're not the future of the genre. They're just kind of one-offs. But again, just see movies that you want to see. If you see a trailer for something and you're just kind of about it, just don't go see it. hold out for the movies that you really want to see. Go see those, and guess what? You'll get more movies like it. You'll get sequels, or you'll get other movies that are of the same type, you know? I'm not knocking you if you want to go see Bad Moms. I don't, but it's not a movie that was made for me. And it doesn't look that bad. It's not a movie that was made for me. If you want to go see it, go see it. Don't go see it just because it exists. Go see it because you want to, and then guess what? You'll get more movies just like it. But if you go see a movie that sucks, and then you get more movies that suck that are just like it, guess what? You are in part responsible for that. That's the way that works. You get what you pay for. And ultimately, coming to a close, the point that I want to make is that we, as consumers, can change the market. And like I said, this applies to everything. I'm just talking specifically about film. But we, as consumers, can change the market. But only if we change what we do. We have to change our behaviors if we want to change things in the real world. And all that it takes, you don't have to go to the ends of the earth to change the industry. All that it takes is for you to give a shit. Just care. That's the choice that is before you. Change things, change the world, which doesn't mean changing the entire world at once. Small changes, small contributions change the world. All it takes is for you to care. And like I said, that's the choice that is before you right now. Change things or just give up. Just don't care. Because anything that you do that promotes your perspectives, your opinions, you want new things, that's change. However small it is, that's change. You can either do that or do nothing. Just give up. You don't have to change all movies. Just spend your $5 to $15 or whatever on a movie that you want to see more of, a kind of movie that you want to see more of. You know? I mean, pay for Revenant. Don't pay for Ghostbusters. Go see a movie like Suicide Squad. You know, I'm kind of interested in seeing that movie. Go see that. Don't go see 9 Lives. And if you don't know what that is, look it up. It's basically the Shaggy Cat. But not like the old one, like the Shaggy Dog with Tim Allen. But now it's a cat. Just go see what you want to see. The power is in your hands. It's in our hands to change things. We as individuals don't have to change the entire world. Certainly not all at once. All we have to do is make smart choices and things will change. That's all it takes. Every single thing that you do with the intent of improving the way that things are, that's positive change, and that's good. That's your contribution. There are so many of us, and if all of us together make smarter choices, we will live in a smarter world. We will live in a better world. That's all we have to do. The weight is not on our shoulders as individuals. The weight is on our shoulders as a species, as people, as beings of this planet collectively. We have that choice. All we have to do is care. So, yeah. Those are my thoughts on the future of movies. That went a little bit farther than I originally intended, but I just felt like I wanted to get that out there. So, yeah. I'm Drachona. Have a nice day.